What the heck is going on, guys? Welcome to your 6th biology tutorial, and in this tutorial I want to talk to you guys about the pH scale. Now what the pH scale is it's basically a system of classifying how acidic or how basic a solution is. And the scale actually goes from 0 to 14, and I know that it's a really odd numbering system, 0 to 14. And if a solution is acidic, it's going to fall in the range of 0 to 7. So all acids are going to be here, and all bases are going to be here. Now the most basic solutions are going to be at 14, and the most acidic solutions are going to be right at 0. So for example, hydrochloric acid is going to be the most acidic solution possible at 0, and the most basic solution would be something like sodium hydroxide, so NaOH, and something that would be completely neutral would be, of course, we learned in the last tutorial, water, H2O. So of course what we can see is whenever I say neutral, I mean that it's not an acid or a base. You drop it in water, nothing happens. It has the exact same number of hydrogen and hydroxide ions. Unlike the case where if you were to drop hydrochloric acid or sodium hydroxide in water, it would of course give off some ions, bad things would happen. So another thing that I want to do is I want to show you guys some common solutions and where they fall on the pH scale. So battery acid has a pH of 1, battery acid, and what this pretty much means is whenever a solution is more acidic or closer to 0, the more hydrogen ions it releases. So if we were to compare battery acid and hydrochloric acid, what would happen is if we were to take both these solutions and test the acidity, we'd find out that hydrochloric acid would release more hydrogen ions, therefore making it more acidic than battery acid. Now, something that is kind of basic, that is more common than sodium hydroxide, would be something like baking soda. So if we were to test baking soda that only has a pH of 9, of course it's pretty basic but not as basic as sodium hydroxide, we would find that sodium hydroxide releases more OH negative, which is hydroxide, in comparison to baking soda. So basically that is what the pH scale is. Again, 7 is neutral, 14 means the solution is really basic or releases a lot of hydroxide ions, and whenever we're talking about the acidity, the more hydrogen ions it releases, the more acidic the solution is. And just some, I don't know, random bits of information. In organisms in people, if your blood becomes too acidic, and that means if the pH drops too low, it can develop a condition called, I'll just write it down, acidosis. And I guess the opposite of that is if your blood becomes too basic, or if the pH is too high, it can develop, let me go ahead and spell this right, alkalosis or alkalosis, whatever you want to call it. Actually, there's probably a proper way to say it, but I think it's alkalosis, or wait a minute. I knew how to say this at one point. I, I'm not even going to try to do it now because I'm going to freaking butcher it. But anyways, the concept of this tutorial, what you need to take away is that's what the pH scale is, a system of classifying how acidic or basic a solution is. The more acidic, the lower the number, the more basic, the higher the number, up to 14, and a perfectly neutral solution would be 7.